Hey, what's going on everyone? It is Kyle and welcome back to another episode of my programming and web development tutorials. Now in this episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to actually do a basically just a short video on programming FAQ, or frequently asked questions, because I get these kind of questions on a daily basis, so I thought I should address some of them and sort of help you guys out. Okay, so the first question that I get a lot is, what programming language should I learn? Now, for beginners, this seems to be an extremely common question, and the answer, well, the answer that I provide them with is always the same, and that is, it depends. And it really does. It's sort of, a lot of people ask, what programming language should I learn? What should I learn to start off with? And people are always giving their answer. They say, oh, you should learn C++, or you should learn Visual Basic, or you should learn, Java, X, Y, Z, whatever. And my opinion on the situation is that it depends on what you want to do, okay? And it depends on what kind of applications you want to develop. If you say, what kind of car should I get? Do you go forward driving? Do you race a car on a track? Do you just want something that can carry 10 people? Or do you want a small car? Do you want something that's fuel efficient? It's really hard to tell. It depends what you do with it. So the answer to the question is, find out what you want to do, and then sort of, find out the languages that actually suit the application that you are intending to use it for. So if you wanted something that's going to work on as many devices as possible, then you're probably going to look for something like Java or C++ or something like that. If you're focused on a really, really fast application, and by that I mean it can process things really, really fast, and it's efficient if you code it correctly, then C++ would be a really good one. If you want something that's really easy to learn, then maybe Visual Basic or Python or something like that would be a really good one to learn. So it really does depend on what you want to do with it, and how you want to apply that to your skills. Okay, so the next one is, which is the best programming language? And that again depends. Each programming language has its benefits or its pros and its cons, and it really depends on what you're developing. Like, you wouldn't make a game in, I don't know, say Visual Basic or something like that. You could, but it wouldn't be, you wouldn't be able to make a really complex 3D game with high resolution textures and stuff like that. You want to go with something like C++ or some other type of low level language. And so yeah, it's pretty much the same as the first question. It really does depend on what you want to do with the language. The third question is, what books do I buy? There seems to be this notion that everyone goes and downloads and hoards all of these PDF files, and they try and read through about 50 different PDF files on a programming language. Now, you can do that, and that's okay. But I find that if you buy a couple of really good books on the language, try and do a bit of research, check on the forums, and actually do Google some of the books, and see other people's recommendations, and then read the reviews on Amazon and stuff like that before you actually buy the book, and then use those. Just buy like 2 or something like that. It's really all you need. You don't really need to go and download a whole bunch of PDFs or acquire a whole bunch of PDFs to try and learn a language. Some people can even do it without a book. You Google it. They've got lots of tutorials and stuff like that online as well. And the last question is, how do I get better at programming? Now, this is something like I don't really, I don't really claim to be an expert or anything on any programming language for that matter. I'm pretty much a beginner of sorts, but I just like making videos to help other people out. But how do you get better at programming? This one's simple. You just keep practicing, just like everything. If you want to get really good at bike riding or race car driving or whatever, you just really need to practice. So make lots of different applications and break them and then fix them, and then find projects to work on and that kind of stuff, and find some people who have the same interest as you, and then maybe work on a project together. And over time you'll actually get better and better and better as you run into problems. Then you research them and you find out how to do it, and then you've actually learned something. So yeah, what I like to do is actually find find an application that exists in the real world already, take a look at how it works, go, okay, well, this system here does X, Y, Z. I'm going to see if I can make something like that, and then just go ahead and see if you can replicate what they've made. And that's a really good way to learn, because you run into a lot of problems. Because if you're just starting off with programming, you got no idea how half the stuff works, so you Google it and you read your books and you find out how it works, and then you learn something. So that's really the best way to learn programming. Post stuff on forums. Go to a programming forum. Post your projects and stuff like that on there. People will give you advice. People will help you out with techniques and stuff like that, and that's also a really good way to learn. So I thought I'd just make this really short video on some of the frequently asked questions of programming. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.